The age-old question, how to socialize with friends when you've got lots of studying to get done. But before I get into sharing my personal tips, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, my name is Jatin and I'm currently an MD MBA student here in Canada. As always, the timestamps for this video will be down in the description or right here on the video bar down below. An easy answer to the question, which is conveniently the first tip, is to study when nobody else is socializing. So when would this be? It can be during the day in the weekdays, it can be during the mornings or afternoons on weekends, basically whenever your social circle is not really hanging out. Because this is going to keep distractions away from tempting you to go and socialize with your friends. Or even worse, save you the guilt of having to say no to every single social event. What this needs is good time management skills and to plan in advance as to when to get studying done. By doing this, now you can have the peace of mind that you've already put in some time towards studying, and now your evenings are available for any plans that may come up. And if no plans come up, then you can either continue to study or even better yet, take some time to relax. This tip can really help prevent FOMO, aka fear of missing out, because let's be honest, we've all felt that from time to time. Second tip is that despite popular beliefs, socializing will actually help you manage your time better. This is the exact same reason as to why I actually make plans on purpose, even when I know that I have some studying to get done. Don't quite understand why? Well, let's hear from my brother from another mother, Ali Abdal.
Alright, so tip number 4 is called Parkinson's Law. And Parkinson's Law states that work expands to fill the time that we allocate to it.
I will link the rest of his video down in the description below. So ultimately, the reason I'm telling you to socialize more is because of what's known as Parkinson's Law. If you have less time to work on something, you better believe you'll get your ass to work on it. So instead of devoting 8 hours towards studying, what I recommend instead is spend 2 hours relaxing or hanging out and planning 6 hours to study instead. What you'll find is that those 6 hours, you'll get the same amount of work done in less amount of time, which I think is quite amazing. This was something I learned when I was trying to balance schoolwork, volunteer work, extracurricular activities, along with working out 2 hours a day. Because when it came down to studying, I had no choice but to put my phone away and get some work done. Here, let's listen to another YouTuber that's almost as big as Ali Abdal. One of the main reasons as to why I decided to start a YouTube channel was I noticed I'm the most productive when I'm keeping myself busy. Of course I'm kidding, my channel is not even close to Ali Abdal's size, but I wanted to add in that clip to show you guys that when I'm keeping myself busy, I usually get more stuff done. Don't try this a day or two before your deadline, that is not good, it's just not worth the stress. I remember reading a tweet that said, me getting work done despite procrastinating is the very reason that I continue to procrastinate. I've been there, but it's just too much stress to take on. What's better is to assign time to studying, as in write it down either in your calendar or somewhere written so that you know that you have to spend those hours towards studying. And hey, if you're finding these tips useful, it takes just 1 second to hit that like button. And consider subscribing for future videos like this. The third tip is to collaborate while studying, but there's some limitations to this one, so hear me out until the end. This is where I recommend to share notes, and I swear this is the biggest tip that helped me save hours during my undergrad. This is what I also call the tag team approach, or the I scratch your back and you scratch mine. This is where you can take turns going to lectures and taking notes and then sharing them with your study partner. If you don't want to completely rely on somebody else's notes, then I still recommend to share notes, because if your lectures are recorded, then what you can do is now watch those lectures at 2 times speed and you don't have to continuously pause to take down additional notes. But like I mentioned earlier, there are some limitations to this advice. The first one being that not everyone feels comfortable sharing their notes. You have to respect their decision because ultimately it is their intellectual property, so it's okay if they don't want to share their notes. The other thing to keep in mind is to pay it forward. The only reason I was able to utilize this tip was because just as much I was taking from other people and using their notes, I was sharing my own notes that I made when I attended lectures. I literally still have friends that are taking classes that I've taken in the past and ask me to share my notes, and I'm happy to do so. So yeah, just keep a balance because it's the fair thing to do. The last and final tip is to understand the power of compounding. I mean, yeah, there's the business definition of it that I've learned during my MBA, but you can also use compounding towards making studying time more productive. And this reminds me of the handful amount of times that I noticed this situation happening. Yeah, just about to head into the gym for a quick 2-hour lift in before my final exam. Oh, why am I working out before my final exam? I don't know, man, it's just something about the gym just really gets me going and really helps my brain get into that final exam zone. And I remember thinking, are you a wizard? Because hours before my exam, I was not like that. I used to be stressing, possibly even cramming until the last minute. But over time, I realized that isn't that the goal? To not be stressing over your exam and to still be able to continue with your daily activities. And the tip is to study less, but start studying early. This will help make those neural connections better, to help you remember and recall content better. It'll help you retain information in your long-term memory compared to your short-term memory. Because when you cram, you may learn the content for a short amount of time, but when it comes down to the final exam or for your future classes that builds on from the prior knowledge, you'll have to spend a countless amount of hours relearning that content. A lot of the classes you'll be taking right now will continue to build on each other, and by studying early, quizzing yourself, and using active recall strategies, you'll be saving yourself those precious hours in the future when you'll need that knowledge once again. I'll make a video in the future about the effective study strategies I use to do well in my classes, but bear with me because I'm still trying to learn effective study techniques. That's all for this video, guys. I hope these tips were helpful because I cannot stress the importance of maintaining a social life while trying to study. I know it's difficult, but with practice, anything is possible. And I know that you have it in you to make that possible as well. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like down below, comment down whichever tip you found to be the most useful, and make sure you subscribe to tune in for future videos. Take care, guys, and thank you so much for being a part of my life.